Yo, 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 what up? What up? How's everybody doing today? Again, this is your man, Carvel Bailey, coming to you with Blessed to Ball TV, Life, and Basketball. That's right, episode number 7. We here, episode number 7, coming to you live and direct from the Blessed to Ball studios. Give myself some time to build up. We're going to be in and out today. We're going to be in and out like the burger, in and out burger. Going to be in and out. So, I am Carvel Bailey. I am the president and CEO of Blessed to Ball Skill Development Academy, where we definitely enhance and develop skills for mental, physical, emotional, social, cognitive, behavioral, social, spiritual. We do all of that using the game of basketball. That's what we do. We use all of that using the game of basketball. So again, this is episode number 7 of the series Life and Basketball. So go share with somebody, go let somebody know. It's going to be real quick today. All right, it's going to be about as fast as the Warriors got rid of the Cavs in the second half of game 2. All right, but going to bring value to you. So again, this show is being brought to you by Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. Okay, book written by me, Carvel Bailey, Ulrich Carvel Bailey. All right, coach, master coach, master teacher. And I'm saying that because literally I have my master's in academic or in athletic administration and coaching. All right, so not only my experience, but my education as well allowed for me to be able to write this book. All right, A Guide to Effective Leadership and Coaching. This book is not going to tell you how to make a jump shot. It's not going to tell you to put the ball in your shot pocket and to follow through and finish on your toes. That's for another book at another time at a later date. This book just gives you different strategies, all right, clues and understanding as to what it takes and in the mind going through the thoughts of head coach, all right, going through the thoughts of a college head coach who has studied other successful coaches and has been successful on many different levels. All right, this book is a great guide to all leaders, for all leaders, regardless who you're leading, guide for all leaders. All right, so that we know, anybody can be a leader, right? Almost everybody in some sort are leaders, but what are we leading people to? Like we always say, you lead somebody to water, but you can't make them drink. Well, if that water is poisonous, you got to wonder why people don't want to drink it because you lead them to it. You say, well, I'm leading you to water, but don't nobody want to drink. Well, that's because it's acid. And it's clear that you saying it's water, but it's really toxic, okay? So this book helps you to understand how to wave through some of those toxic areas and situations when it comes to building teams, relationships, corporations, businesses, and to get it done by that, okay? I am certain, all right, and that's my goal, that this book, by Christmas of next year, this book would have had sold over 5,000 copies. All right, that's my goal. That's my mission. All right, I want to be on the New York Times bestsellers list, and I'm speaking it so it will happen. All right, I'm speaking it so it will happen. So this book is being, this show is being brought to you by, again, Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. So today, we're talking about transformative leadership. All right, and these are some things, this is actually in chapter 1 of the book, and these are some things that I actually learned throughout my years of not only coaching, watching coaches, but then when I, went to pursue my master's degree and understanding a little bit more of the analytical things and just some more of the cognitive things that goes behind just the X and O's. I learned a lot about this. All right, so speaking of transformative leadership, there are really three different styles of coaching that I study. There may be more, but there are three different styles of coaching. So as we always do, like with the swimming pool, all right, nice weather outside, jump off the diving board. All right, this is where we launch from. All right, we launch from this book, and then we get into it, just talking about different things. So talking about transformative leadership. I just want to read this to you guys real quick. So pay attention and follow me. All right. I will touch on three different styles of coaching, which are the command, the submissive, and the cooperative style of coaching. Regardless of your style, the most important thing is that you can gain positive results and reach certain goals while remaining true to your character and your integrity. Kind of sounds like last week we talked about character and integrity, right? Like every show we could talk about character and integrity. Every day we can talk about character and integrity because you have to have that regardless of what you do. You have to have character and integrity. You have to pass that down to those that are, following you. You have to be able to pass those things down with character and integrity. So I go on to talk about with the three different styles of coaching. All right, the first style of coaching is the command style of coaching. All right, and this was really me at some point. But the commander style of coaching, all right, it says he wants every I dotted and every T crossed when it comes down to his teams. Everyone has to be on the same page at the same time to be a part of this program. The coach instructs his players and parents from day one on this team that this is not a democracy. All right, now I want you guys to understand this because a lot of times parents don't use discernment or they don't really have an understanding of what it takes to have a successful team. Regardless, or not just parents, but individuals, what it takes to have a successful team. That if that's the team on your job, all right, if that's your sports team, your basketball team, all right, we talk about this is life in basketball, so that's this show. So we're talking about basketball. But and I'm not so quick to use the word discernment because again, the commander style was me, right? And that's the way that I've coached. So, but parents don't really understand that when you give your kid to a coach, you're entrusting that coach to be able to do everything that you would do for your kid and to take care of your kid while they're in the coach's hands and control. So when I talk about the coach of a command style, he lets everyone know from day one, this is not a democracy. So what happens is parents, hey, I don't want my kid on that team. They was 5 minutes late. The coach didn't let them play, or they did this, and the coach has already set in stone that it's my rules. It's not how you want to do it. Okay, this is my program, so you follow my rules. And I've always told my players that particular year is their team. I used to always say, this is your team, but it's my program. So what that means is when someone looks up 2016, 2017 Cleveland Cavaliers, right? They will look at who was on that team that year. Or let's just go back to last year. 2015, 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers NBA champions, correct? But who owns that team? Dan Gilbert. So at the end of the day, when someone thinks about Cleveland Cavaliers other than LeBron James, okay, and it cracks me up every time I say that because I always hear it in my head, LeBron James, right? But the owner is Dan Gilbert. So it's his organization, but it's their team because if someone mentions Cleveland Cavaliers, say back in 2012 and 13 or whatever, they're not going to say LeBron James because he was not on that team, but they will still say Dan Gilbert. Do everybody understand what I'm saying? So the coach has to let everyone know from the beginning of the rules and what it's going to be, how it's going to be. All right, now I'm going to try not to stop because I want to kind of get through this. All right. Then it goes on to say, being a commander style coach, he feels that if he can think for his team in the beginning, yet teach them how to learn and actively listen and think for themselves, they can and will do what's expected later on in the season out of instinct. So it's almost like training, literally, right? Like, I'm going to think for you, right? Who told you to think? I used to always tell my mates, look at me like, huh? Well, playing sports, especially basketball, playing sports is instinctive. If you have to think and if you're acting like a robot in sports, especially in basketball, you're not going to be as successful as you can be. So I used to always say, who told you to think? You have to react and play off instinct. But now when the coach is thinking for them, go here, do this, do that. And they might be like, why am I doing this? Well, now when it comes time later on during the season, and again, it's not a democracy. So I'm telling you, go here, you go here. I'm telling you to do this, you do that. I'm almost telling you to jump. You say how high because it's a method to my madness. And like this may sound harsh to some people, but we talk about character and integrity, right? I said you always have to go back to that. If the coach has character and integrity, it doesn't matter what style of coach they are, because at the end of the day, they have character and integrity, so they understand that they're doing something for the good of those that they serve. All right, the CEO, the president, the owner, the founder, the principal, the teacher, the pastor, the head doctor, whoever it is, if they have character and integrity, they understand that what they're doing it for the betterment of everyone that they're serving. So therefore, as a method to my madness, you may just not understand it yet, but it's my job to get you to start to, think instinctively or to react instinctively so that when it comes time, like when it's really winning time, when it's time to perform, you would have been there before. You can say, man, I done seen that song and dance before. I already know what's going on. So now let me give you some other, I'm going to just speak about me, okay? I'm going to get out the book for a minute. But as a command style coach, like with me, like everybody had to have the same pair of socks on, like, or the same color, right? If we're wearing red socks, everybody need red socks on. If we're wearing blue socks, everybody need blue socks on. If we're wearing ankle socks today, everybody needs to wear ankle socks. If we wear ankle braces, everybody needs to have ankle braces or have your ankle taped up. All right, like it really didn't matter about the wristbands and those type of things. Okay, I didn't really mind that. But we're going to be in uniform was always my point. If our colors are, say, white and green, and y'all want green shoestrings in your shoes instead of white, everybody wearing green shoestrings. That's just how I'm wired. And that was kind of how I was brought up. So I always carried it over to my teams. And that was, and again, as a commander style of coach, this is what I want. This is how it's going to be. Are we wearing warm-ups today or no? Well, I think we should wear them because we're on the road. We want to look decent and look A1, first class, professional. So we coming out in our warm-ups, regardless what y'all think. Like that was just me. So, and then, it goes, one of the coaches that I actually studied with this, it says, along with giving players contracts to sign at the start of the year, always gave written tests and rules and history of the game. Like I did all of those things. Like you're going to take a written test of rules, like, because I want you to understand basketball. If I ask you who is Lou Alcindor and you have no idea, then I'm not doing my job. So again, because of my leadership style, now we're not going to practice today. We're going to have a history of basketball. Because when you understand where you come from, you understand where you're going. Like I was always that way. Like, I'm gonna give you a test. I want to know, do you know what an elbow is? Do you know what half court is? Do you know what a free throw line is? And we take some of these things for granted as coaches. I talk about it on, the weekends I, ref, most people know that. And I see these coaches and coaches put things on the kids that the kids have no idea what they're saying, because the adult understands it, but we have to teach. As leaders, we have to be teachers, and we have to, this is why you have to go through this screen on this angle going this fast. Otherwise, the whole play is not going to work. It's about timing. Like, we have to teach the same way in life. We have to teach about it. So that's the first type of coach, command coach. All right. The second type of coach is the cooperative coach. Again, brought to you by Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. All right. This show is. The second type of coaching style is the cooperative style of coach. All right. Now, I always said that I'm the command type of coach. These next two styles, I started leaning towards, a few years ago, because I just kind of understood kind of the changing of the guard, so to speak. And it doesn't mean that, okay, the new generation wins, but you have to understand how to reach them where they are to be able to take them to where you want to take them. See, oftentimes we feel like, okay, hey, we're going to grab this person where right now, and immediately take them up to the level that we are at mentally. We can't do that. We have to meet people where they are, educate them on their level, and then take them up to where we need them to be and where we are. See, that's the difference to me in a good leader and a great leader. Like, great leaders make adjustments on the fly. Good leaders make practice plans, so to speak, like lesson plans, practice plans. That's what good leaders do. Great leaders can adjust on the fly. Okay, we're supposed to do this, but then this happens, so now we're going to do this, and then we're going to have a teaching point behind it. So the cooperative style coach, it says his attention to detail when it comes to his players' concentration level for the task at hand. This is a coach that I actually interviewed, all right, a close friend of mine. All right, his style was, the way that he figured, quote, I don't care if they wear two left shoes, baby, as long as they are comfortable and execute what we need done. Right? So he was totally opposite of me. He said, I don't give a damn if they wear two left shoes. They can wear a green one, a blue one. It really don't matter, as long as they execute what we need to execute. Well, that's the cooperative style of coach. Like, that coach wants them to understand that it's a job to be done. And as long as you go out and get the job that I need you to get done, then you can go out and get it done your way. So the book goes on to say Coach 2 has sort of a yin-yang approach to his coaching style. He is a no-nonsense, in practice and off-the-court type of person. However, when it comes to games, he understands and appreciates his players for who they are and what they are striving to become. In return, his players give him 110% every day, because they understand that the practices are for him and the games are for them. Did y'all hear that? Listen to what that said. The practices are for the coach. Because like coaches want to execute, like I said, practice plan. Like, we have to do this, we have to do that. His players, he's cooperative. So I'm going to give a little bit, y'all give a little bit. And together we'll be great. I don't care what shoes you wear, what socks you wear, whatever. I'm going to let you do you, you let me do me, and then we have a great time together. So the practices are for the coach. Most players nowadays, most players don't really like practice, right? All coaches love practice. Players, man, got to go to practice, got to go to practice. And unfortunately, this is where you find out who really likes the sport, or who really likes, even in a job setting, okay? Because again, with this show, we take basketball and we bring it with real life situations. So like, a lot of times people don't like to go to professional developments. And that's what practice is, right? Practice, and basketball practice is a professional development. At your job, on your career, right, in life, you have professional developments. Hell, even games have professional developments when they have game meetings, right? I mean, like, I don't I don't want to like go there, but I'm just saying a professional development. So a lot of people don't, man, I got to be in this professional development all day. All day. They ain't going to be talking about nothing. Well, it's to get you better. But who enjoys themselves at a professional development more than anybody? The presenters, right? Like the presenters love professional development because this is where they get to showcase, hey, pop my collar. I know what I'm talking about. I'm good. Right? Like, this is what I do. And this is the time where you get to practice and make yourself better. Well, players don't always like practice, but this coach, his players understood that the practices are for him, but the games are for them. And we talked about this several episodes ago. All right, go subscribe to my YouTube page at Bless the Ball SD. At Bless the Ball SD, go subscribe to my YouTube page. I got all the old shows on there, plus a whole lot of other good stuff, right? But I talked about it in an earlier episode. The games are won in practice, not during the competition. Any great coach in any great sport understands this comment. Games are won in practice because you practice how you play. And this is where you come up with your schemes, with your plays, scenarios, and do all that. It's finals time, so I go to the NBA Finals. Tyronn Lue said during the Boston series, when everything was going gravy, right, when they was beating the brakes off Boston, Tyronn Lue said then, he said, I wish we knew our defensive assignments like we know them handshakes. Whoa. They kind of swept that under the rug. But this is coming from the leader of that team, right? Not the owner. So don't get it, you said it's Dan Gilbert's team. Yeah, he owns the team. But Tyronn Lue is he's in leadership of that team. Regardless what LeBron James say, how many people say LeBron James is a coach or whatever, Tyronn Lue is getting paid to be the leader. We can earn his money or not. But he said during the Boston series, I wish we knew our defensive assignments like we know our handshakes. Everybody got a different handshake, right? And this came after a win. So, it's almost like people say, when somebody drunk, they tell you the truth. Well, most times the truth comes out in victory. Most times the truth comes out in victory. The harsh truth will come out in defeat. Because now it's out of frustration. Man, you don't play no defense. But the truth came out in the victory 2 games beforehand when your buddy was laughing at you saying, man, he went around you every time. That's the truth. He's telling you don't play no defense. But then when you lose a close game, man, you don't play no damn defense. That's why, again, the good teams and the great teams can deal with adversity. You never find out who you are as a person or as a team until you get hit with adversity. Let's see who Cleveland is tomorrow night. At the end of the day, let's see who Cleveland is tomorrow night. Adversity is upon them. Let's see. So that's the cooperative style of coach. He's the yin-yang type of guy. All right. The third style is the submissive type of coach. All right. And this coach says, watching other coaches to find out why they have been successful. This coach watches other coaches to find out why they have been successful rather than why they have not. All right, submissive. So in life, how many times do we really look at people that's successful as opposed to people that's not successful? Mm-hmm. Like we might focus on the person like, man, they ain't doing nothing. They ain't like, instead of focusing on who's successful. And I said again, I said a couple shows ago, and I will always say that, and bless the ball with what I do. I always, all my coaching styles, I want my players to understand why they do certain things. I don't really want you to understand what I'm having you do. You got to understand that, what I'm having you do, how I'm having you do it, the technique and all that. But I want you to understand why you're doing it. And there was a quote I said a couple episodes ago: the person that understands why will always own the company. The person that understands what and how will always be the employee. If you want to be in leadership, you have to understand why things are done the way they're done. If you want to be the person under the leadership, you just got to know how they are done and what they have to do. What do I have to do and how do I do it? Okay, great. We're going to put you over here. But that person that comes in, I want to know why this happens. Oh, we're going to make you a leader. Oh, you can own the company. So the submissive coach, he or she studies other coaches because they want to understand why these coaches have been successful rather than why they have not. I'm going to just duplicate what you've been doing to be successful. And if I duplicate your success, guess what I should be? Successful. I mean, that's kind of common sense, but it's not really, because a lot of people don't apply those strategies. And that's with anything in life. If you can duplicate what Bill Gates does, however his mind works, if you can duplicate the things, the way that he looks at things, and some of his strategies, you may not be as successful as Bill Gates, so don't get me wrong. But it will be successful for you. I posted a video the other day, right, of Kobe Bryant, and he was talking about his Mamba mentalities. And he talks about how he gets up at 4 a.m. Said he'd been doing it like forever, almost since high school. He said, because if I get up at 6 a.m, I get up at 6, work out from 7 to 9, come home, eat, take a nap, get back up at, 12 o'clock, work out from 1 to 2. Come home, chill out, get back up at 5, work out from 6 to 8. He said, that's 3 workouts. He said, but if I get up at 4 a.m, get up at 4, go work out from 5 to 7, take a nap, get back up, at 12, work out from 1 to 3, take a nap, get back up, work out from 6 to 8, take a nap. And then, now he's put in at minimum 1 more workout than the person that does 3. Now, let's be honest. I don't know if Coach Jackson's still on this thread or not, right? He's a football coach. Football players have 2-a-days. Some basketball teams doing preseason may have 2-a-days, but ain't nobody really going 3 times a day. So that's kind of unheard of. But if he gets 4 workouts a day, even for the person that does 3, he's 1 up on them. Like, this is the way that this dude thinks, Kobe thinks. And for that person that works out 2 times a day, I'm 2 workouts on you. So what Kobe said is that the Mamba mentality, if I do that for 3 or 4 years, I don't care how long they work out, they'll never be able to catch me. So let's just think of whatever field, whatever area of your life. If you were able to get in 2 to 3 or even 1 to 2 extra developmental times, studying times, reps, whatever, like if you were able to get an extra 1 to 2 in for 2 to 3 years, it doesn't matter how good somebody else get, they won't catch you. And like Kobe said, he said, hey, and the guy said, well, how you work out more than them? He said, because I already know they work out. right? His charisma. We talked about that before too. As a leader, his charisma, like he understands these guys because he has conversations with these guys. People think coaches don't talk. People think players don't talk. I always tell players like don't be disrespectful because I may know a coach. Looking here is coaches that's on this thread. I may know a coach, and that coach may be in a whole nother state. When I first started my very first basketball camp, working college basketball camp was at Western Michigan. It was 5 guys on staff at that point. It was 4 assistant coaches, 1 GA. The head coach is still at Western Michigan. All those other assistants have been all around the country. But we still built up a relationship. And our relationship was better than mine was with the head coach. But if I can get on the phone and call those guys, or one of them can call me and say, hey, got any players in Chicago? I can get on the phone and say, hey, I got somebody for you, or can you write a letter of recommendation? Or they just call, hey, man, how you doing? Or, like, tell me something. Like, don't think that these NBA players and these professionals don't talk. The same way in business sector, like principals talk, and I talk about principals because I've been in education, right? Principals talk, presidents of colleges talk, presidents of businesses talk. Why? It all goes back to the professional developments again, right? Because everybody got to go to those professional developments, so they talk. So he already knew what the other guys was doing based on just having general conversation. So now I'm gonna do a little bit more than them for a longer period of time and be better. So in your leadership, how much are you doing? How much are you having your team do that's going to be more than what they normally do and more than what your competitors do to where they'll never be able to catch you? When I first started working at Malcolm X back in 2010, and during the preseason, we ran so much. And it was a staff person that came to me. He used to try to hang out in the gym with us, right? And he came to me and said, man, the players say you running them too hard. And me, again, said in the early episode, like study Dean Smith, the English teachers do not allow people in the English classroom. So as a basketball coach, I'm a teacher. I don't really allow a lot of people in my practice. It's not an open door policy. Because, hell, it ain't a democracy, you know what I'm saying? So, I was able to gather myself and say, well, hey, we run for a reason. Yeah, man. Well, players say, man, they tired, man. You be running their tongues out. Okay. We going to keep running. So if you don't really like it, then you probably shouldn't come down here. And when I got the job at Malcolm X, I left one school to go to the other. So I took most of my players with me. And then the other, basically most of my team knew who I was and how I coached, except for 3 or 4 people. So if you listen to those 3 or 4 people, they're probably not cut out to be on this team anyway, because we run. And then after the first game, we played a team that was ranked in the country that was in our conference. And we beat them convincingly. Next day in practice, coach, man, I see why y'all do all that running, man, because, man, them other dudes, man, that other team their tongues was hanging out at halftime. I just looked. It's a method to my madness. We may not be great, but we will be effective. And to be effective, you have to do what others aren't doing for a longer period of time, and do what you're not used to do for a longer period of time. You have to be comfortable, uncomfortable. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So again, the submissive style coach. Being submissive doesn't mean that you are a coward or scared of your team, but means that you are comfortable with your expertise to know that you don't know everything. See, a lot of times as people, we think we know everything. But when we think about it, we probably only use less than 5% of our brain. Or let me change that. We probably only know about 3 to 5% of the things that are in this world, if that. And we might only be really be using about 5-10% of our brain, because like our mind is so advanced. Like, have you ever thought about something or dreamed about something, and then like you woke up and really couldn't figure it out, but in the dream it really made sense to you, the way you woke up feeling good? Like, whoa. Like, the way our brain processes things is amazing. The way our body works, the way we function is amazing. So we have to know that we don't know everything. When we know that we don't know everything, then we start to study other people's success as well as other people's faults, so that we can have success from somebody else's faults. This coach keeps their philosophy, but has to build their strategies according to their players that year. Keep their philosophies, but you got to change it up based on the players. You can't just have a cookie cutter as a president or a CEO of a major company. Like, you know what your standards are. But I don't think that, and I always use McDonald's. I don't really want to use them. Okay, it's basketball. I don't think that Dr. J could play doing the same moves that he did then now, because it's a different type of game. It's evolution. Hell, Michael Jordan, and he's probably the closest. He and Magic. All right, my two favorite best players. They probably couldn't play the same way because it was a different style of play. It won't work, or it may not be as effective. Let me say that. These guys that's playing basketball now, they couldn't play during the ABA or in the 80s or the 90s NBA. One, because it was more physical. It was more blue collar. NBA now is white collar. Know the difference in blue collar and white collar? You understand what I'm talking about. Blue collar is like hard hat, lunchbox. All right, we go and get dirty. White collars, we're going to sit on this computer and ding. Okay, we just came up with a new play. We figured out how to shoot the ball from the scoreboard using the computer, right? It's totally different. So you have to adjust based on your personnel. Still have your, norms, your standards, your morals and your values, but you have to adapt based on your situation and your personnel. I can't run a low post offense, a high low offense with if my tallest player is 6'3". Can't do that. I can't run and jump and press and do all those things if, I have 6'9", 6'9", 6'10", 7 foot and 7'3". I can't do that because they're probably not as mobile. So the submissive coach understands that. And then finally, I'm gonna, close it out. It's not the end of the chapter. I didn't read the whole chapter. I read a couple pages, but all three coaching styles are capable of working once they are catered to your personality and character. Once you realize that your faith and integrity will take you far in this business, there's that I word again, you begin doing things the right way for the sake of those you touch and come in contact with. Regardless of the three styles that you choose to implement in your philosophy, you must remember that there is a bigger goal other than winning and losing, as hard as that may be. In our business, it's about results. Yet sometimes we forget that the growth of individuals is results. And most times the most gratifying result of them all. It's a results business. All right, and my a former assistant, E, I see you just popped on. He used to always tell me this is a results business, Bailey. Like, they have to understand. And this was back when we was like at Truman, when they said just win one game. It was like, no, how can we advance if we only win in one game? It's a results business. But growth in individuals is probably the biggest result of them all. And as coaches, we forget about that. As leaders, we forget about that. We just want to know production. How are they producing? How many points did they have? How many rebounds did they have? You know, how many pallets were they able to put up? How many fires were they able to put out? How many arrests were they able to do? How many calls were they able to answer on the call center? Like, everybody, just looks at production. But results, when you think about results, if you're developing people, if you're a leader, your job is to develop people. If you're a teacher, if you're a coach, to develop people. And I think this is the biggest thing that is always lost when it comes to leadership. But people always say, hey, if you help one, you did your job. But I didn't help one, and it ain't good enough for you. I did one stack of papers. You want the whole damn room done. I taught this person how to take care of this, but now you want all this done. And I see it all the time. And I pat my own self on the back because if ain't nobody else going to do it, I got to do it, right? Like, you don't be full of yourself, but you should appreciate yourself and give yourself accolades when you know that they're due. If you can take a person that doesn't have any skills, regardless of what you're teaching them, if you can take a person that doesn't have any skills or minimal skills and develop them, you've gotten results. You may not have gotten results that the superiors want, but you've gotten results out of that person. And then you also have gotten results out of yourself because, again, as a leader, if you're not learning from those in which you're guiding, you're teaching, then you probably need to do something else because you're not being a great leader. You should be able to learn just as much from those that you're dealing with as those that you're dealing with is learning from you. So, case in point, with people on jobs, if you ever got an entry level job, you probably don't know a lot about that job. So after your probation period, 90 days, 30 days, whatever, 60 days, you've learned. So you have growth. So therefore, whoever was training you, whoever was coaching you, whoever was teaching you, whoever was advising you, have gotten results out of you. And we get lost in those results. Especially in basketball, we think of wins and losses. And like, that's the thing that, Eric tried to tell me the first time. Like, especially in college on the major level, it's a results business. Coaches get fired, boom, 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 because they're not winning. But are they developing individuals? Sometimes me developing you, getting you to graduate, that ain't packing the house out. So that ain't selling tickets. So it ain't getting no revenue, no production. We got to find somebody that can bring a LeVar Ball in, somebody that they go pack the house out just to see this dude. But so those are the three different coaching styles. You have the commander coaching style, you have the cooperative coaching style, you have the submissive coaching style. So be it coaching or leadership, all right, as a parent, whatever, you have to understand. And you can jump from one to the other. You can be the commander style leader, and then you can be kind of cooperative. Again, once they kind of understand, and then at a certain point, you may be able to be submissive. Understand, hey, I can't do with what for kid two that I was able to do with kid one because they totally different individuals and they just don't work like that. I'm gonna still be command, but I have to be submissive a little bit and give a little bit, give or take. So that's what transformative leadership is all about. All right, again, coming from my book. If you haven't got your copy, I don't know what you're waiting on. If you haven't got your copy, all right, you know my number. You can contact me. You can inbox me. You can go to my website, blessedtheballsd.com. You can go to bit.ly/blessedtheballbook. All three capital B's. All right. You can look on my YouTube, my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that, and LinkedIn, whatever. And I have links to the book. All right. Again, this book is not going to tell you how to shoot a jump shot. It's not going to tell you how to, do a defensive slide or lunge or none of that. It's not going to tell you how to do all that. But it will tell you how to act accordingly and give you some practical, everyday resources, skills, and strategies to implement if you are a leader, or if you are in leadership, or if you want to be in leadership, or if you're under someone's leadership. See how I just covered the whole spectrum? That means the bottom line, pick up this book. $19.99, pick up this book. Like $5 shipping and handling. But again, if you're in the Chicagoland area, pick it up. I can, probably meet you with it and, get it for you. We have our Father's Day camp, June 16th, Father's Day camp, Tupac birthday. Having our Father's Day camp. So we have 3 specials. All right, our camp, just regular camp t-shirt. Camp will be for 2 hours, and that's $50. If you just want the regular camp and, admission to the camp t-shirt, $50. If you want the package A with the camp, the t-shirt, and you want a copy of the book, signed book, as well as a written workout plan. All right, for you or your kid, all right, father, son, father, daughter, all right, nephew, niece, whoever, great bonding event. But if you want package B, package A is just a t-shirt and admission. Package B is all of package A, and you get a signed copy of the book, and you get a written workout plan. That's for $75. All right, package C is you get package B, which includes A, and you get a copy of the actual camp on video. All right, and that's $125. So you'll have some type of memorabilia to where you can pop in at holiday time, 4th of July, Christmas time, whenever, and say, hey, this is when me and my kid, or me and my nephew, me and my niece, or me and my mentee went to, grandson or whoever, went to camp, and I was out there doing the drills with them, and it was a great bonding experience. All right, even with that, you can go to bit.ly / Father's Day camp, or again, you can look on my website. Everything is on my website, blessedtheballsd.com, or just get in contact with me. All right. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat. Do a Q&A real fast. If not, then I appreciate you spending time with me. Anybody got any questions? Comment. Again, share this information. All right, share this link, share this live with anyone that you know, because even though you may know it or you may not needed it, but share it with somebody else. If you got a kid, let them see it. If you got somebody that's into leadership, let them see it. All right, this is not, it's everything that I talk about on these shows is not the book. We just launch from the book with a passage or two, and then we bring it together with life. That's what the book is about, more of what we talk about. But here we kind of talk about whatever is happening at that current state of time. So there are no questions, I definitely appreciate y'all. It's a nice day outside today. Everybody be careful, enjoy themselves. And pardon, as I always say, there is someone that you know or someone that you don't know that's going to be competing for the same position that you will be competing for at some point in time in your life. And if you're not working hard enough, when it comes time for you two to face off, they're going to beat you or they're going to get the edge on you, get the job, get the position, whatever it is, if you're not working hard enough. So at the end of the day, it means work hard, because hard work is non-negotiable. I want to teach you how to work smart. We talk about that why. You have to know why you have to work so hard, why you have to work so smart. Not only just how I need to work out, what I need to do, but you need to know why. Why do I need to put this work in now? So that I know how it's going to benefit me later. All right. So if nothing else, I'll holler at y'all. It's been real. Peace.